What's up, boys? Welcome back to another episode of Terran School. Today, I want to show you guys how to defend some basic Protoss cheeses. I feel like most of my guides have been, you know, aimed for a longer game or medium games, but some of you also struggle with cheeses a lot. My friends complained to me about it, so I'm gonna show you how to defend a few basic cheeses. This is probably not the only time I'm gonna do this. As more cheeses become meta, I will keep trying to update and make videos on the new cheeses and stuff. So of course, if you guys have any suggestions or cheeses you die to, let me know in the comments. For now, I'm gonna show you guys against the one and only, everyone's favorite Protoss, Max Packs. Actually, I was scrolling through my replays a little bit, and I noticed I don't get cheese too much, but every time, because this is from a tournament, by the way. I have another one against Max Packs from another tournament. Every time I looked at a best of 3 against Max Packs, he would cheese me at least once. So I'm gonna use that to teach you guys. So this game is gonna be against a regular proxy gate, I believe. This is by far the most common cheese, I think. Now, one thing I have to say is that usually with my standard builds, I don't SCV scout against Protoss. But if you play against proxy gate and you don't SCV scout, it's a slightly bad situation for you no matter what. If you don't SCV scout and the guy executes the proxy gate well, you're gonna be behind. So if you don't want to be behind against a proxy gate, you kind of have to SCV scout. This game I SCV scouted at 18. I think you can do it at 19 as well. So the way I do it is I play a tournament, and if I play against people that don't proxy gate, because I'm pretty aware of the builds of most players, I usually don't scout, but obviously when I play Max Packs, who's a bit more cheeky, I'm gonna be going for the SCV scout. So the first thing you see is obviously the lack of Nexus. Now this can mean a few things.
Command center upgrade complete.
Like I said, most commonly it's proxy gate. Like this is actually, for me, this is like 90% sure proxy gate. I'm not sure about your guys' MMR. So this game I'm actually going to do a funny hold. Obviously, as soon as you see the lack of Nexus, you're going to scout around with the Reaper. Very basic. The things you can find, honestly, you could find a Robo somewhere in this area on this map. And then if it's a Stargate, it's probably going to be more positioned towards here, to be able to attack the main. So that's the areas to look at. Now, the second gas is an indicator that this is not a tech proxy. Like, this is just going to be, like, at this point when I see this, I already know it's proxy gate into Nexus, right? Unless there's some real weird shit. I can't even imagine what that could be. But if you don't see the second gas, you know it's a proxy gate into Nexus. Now, first thing you need to do is get this bunker for sure. Then if you're let's say your scouting is a bit off, maybe you forgot to send a SCV or it's late or whatever, then you can just make Marines. But against this, I actually do a very weird response. I never saw anyone do this, but it seems really strong. Is to just go Reaper into Tech Lab and make Marauders. Cause yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you have a bunker with Marines, a lot of times, even if it's a good situation for you, they're gonna like click the Stalker past the bunker and be really annoying. But when you have Marauders, it doesn't do anything. So this is yeah, like I said, you can make Marines. Definitely do not make a reactor straight away. Huge mistake number one. If you get the reactor right away when you're getting proxied, you're not gonna have any units. Like this add-on's not gonna finish. How long does a reactor take to build? A reactor almost takes as long to build as the freaking barracks. Like a reactor takes ages. So I wouldn't be making any unit. Like the Stalker that comes out of here, like it's gonna meet a Reaper and like an empty bunker, and that's it. Don't make the reactor. If you go for the Marines, if you like that more, make Marines from a naked Rex. If you want to go for this build, go for this build. I think this is honestly a pretty strong way to go about it. And obviously, I confirm the Nexus. Nothing shocking, of course. Now, he's not gonna run by yet with the first Stalker. Normally, they can do that. It happens. But yeah, with this case, I would... If you don't micro roll, you lose the SCV, you send another one. But that's the only thing you're gonna lose with the Marauder response. So you get the second factory going. Now, a thing about the proxy gate is just about... Here you go. You can see why it's strong. He was so tempted to do this, but it just... Like, you just can't. Like, all these units are just useless. Yeah, this is what it looks like. If I would be surprised if I lose a unit, I would also be disappointed. Uh, and that's it. The entire rush is held. You go into the factory. Now, what I was gonna say is a proxy gate is actually economically pretty strong, I would say. Like, it's all about doing SCV damage. So that's what you want to minimize. Like, losing units is better than and then losing SCVs. Like, if you have to sacrifice a Marauder or 3 Marines to save your SCVs, that's probably worth it. Like, as you can see, our eco is actually pretty similar, I would say. 25 SCVs plus 2 meals. Maybe I'm a little bit ahead. He has no tech, that's my advantage. So then, I always would recommend to follow with a Cyclone, just because a tank is really hard to move out on the map, you know? Like, even if he lost 3 units, I don't know exactly what he has. Maybe he made 3 more Stalkers. Like, I think, yeah, he made 3 Adepts. He could have had 3 Stalkers. If you move out a tank on the map and it gets caught, your tank is actually dead. But a Cyclone is... It's very free to move out on the map. It's very safe. So I always like to go Cyclone into tank. And obviously you have the Reaper to scout. If you don't, that's... Like, it's not the biggest deal. The Reaper makes the game a lot easier, I think. If you don't scout anything, you're just gonna have to play a little more safe. So then, since I saw the units at home, this is actually an important timing. You should really know when you can kill the pylon, because you should kill it as soon as you can. If I didn't kill those 3 units, I still wouldn't be able to move out here. I would actually have to wait for a second factory unit. Like... this pylon and gate, the later you kill it, like, if you never kill it, this is going to be able to make, yeah, just Adept, Stalker, Zealots, whatever he wants for the rest of the game. It's the same with a Proxy Stargate, you know? If there's a Proxy Stargate and you never kill the pylon, he could make 5 Phoenixes from it and make the game horribly annoying for you. So the moment you can kill the pylon, you go for it. If you don't kill any units, I think you should wait for the second factory unit. You can poke a bit with the Cyclone, but if you had like 5 Stalkers, which you could have had, yeah, don't be desperate about it. Wait for your tank. The tank is kind of the moment where you know you're Gucci, right? So here I'm gonna kill a Spylon. Now, generally, I feel like the best way to go about it is doing Banshee. If you play against a very early cheese and it's very low eco, I think Hellions are good as well. Like a Hellion drop or a Marine drop. Whatever drop, really. Just pressure with the units you have. But going for a Banshee, in this case, when your eco is just fine, is really nice, because a Banshee allows you to sit back while doing damage. I feel like a drop is always more committed, if that makes sense. Like, a Banshee is just a harassment unit where you can keep all your safety units at home, and that's it. So here I'm gonna go for the safety eBay. Like, I'm sure, I don't have to tell you guys, I think you guys know this. Whenever you get cheesed and you hold it, it's DTs, right? There we go. Well, this game it wasn't, but I'm getting the eBay anyway. Now, I would recommend you to go for 3cc afterwards. I think Terran is very momentum based. A lot of it depends on timing and stuff. So if you hold the cheese and then go for a 3x afterwards, even if you're ahead in eco and tech, your stim is incredibly late. Your entire real setup is going to be late. Like, if I made stim now still, I would hit him at like 730, and even if he's behind, he's going to be able to have a massive army. So I feel like after this situation, you don't really want to push. Now here, I just saw Pylon, I see the lack of third. This, by the way, massive tell in any kind of game, no matter if it's a cheese game or not. No gases, you don't attack, like... Just stay home. Don't do anything. There's no gases. Just please don't leave your base. No matter if you have 700 supply against 42, if there's no gases, you chill. You make another bunker. Of course, I have my turrets up. And this is what's so nice about the Banshee. It's like, it's such a low committal harass. You know, if they defend it well, it's not going to do damage, but you're going to scout. The opponent is going to have to stay home with some units, and you're not actually dedicating some of your units to the attack. So because I was kind of expecting charge here. He actually went for glaives, as you can see, but I was expecting charge. So I'm just walling off. I feel like walling off is equally good against glaives, so actually this makes total sense in every way. Obviously, this Banshee kills everything. Doesn't doesn't matter too much. Like if I held this attack even without doing damage, I would have won the game. I have a third CC. And yeah, just play really safe, scout well. I feel like this game was very straightforward, you know. I scouted on time, I recognized the build. And actually, in the next game I'm going to show you guys, you'll see a different variation of this build order that the Protoss did. So I can show you guys how to defend that as well. This was just a normal proxy gate expand, the most standard cheese there is. And now I'm going to go into a little bit more extreme one. Alright, so here we're back, game number 2. Once again, playing against everyone's favorite Protoss player, MaxPax. The guy making these guides possible by cheesing me. Send him your regards. So this game he's gonna go for a proxy gate again, but now he's actually gonna go for hardcore proxy target follow-up. I feel like this kind of stuff is more common in lower leagues, so I wanted to include this. Personally, I don't really see this. I think it's pretty easy to hold as well. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. Let's skip forward a little bit. I'm not sure when I'm gonna SCV scout. Like I said, if you play a cheesier player or you just want to be safe, like for me, StarCraft, it's almost all about mind games, as you know. I do my builds depending on who my opponent is. So usually I don't SCV scout, but since I'm playing max packs in a tournament, I'm not taking any risks. So this game I'm actually scouting at the normal timing, 19. At least I think I'm SCV scouting. I hope I'm SCV scouting. Else I must have some godly sixth sense. Let's see. Yeah, SCV scouting. Also, when you don't see a probe scout, in my opinion, that's suspicious. So a lot of the times I actually just SCV scout when I don't see a probe coming. Actually, let's see what is he doing exactly. Right, so you guys can see before I even scout, this is the difference that you want to scout with the SCV. Obviously, there's still no nexus. The gate is still far forward usually. It can also be in the main, by the way. This is not an indicator of a cheese, but looks exactly the same as the other game. No nexus. And then I'm gonna go for that second gas scout. Reaper is gonna scout around. This game, I made Marines because actually I scouted at 19 instead of 18, so I wasn't even able to see the gases in time. So I didn't want to take the risk by just going for blind marauders. Well, it could be, you know, something else. Here we go, scouting around, scouting around. Doesn't look like I'm gonna find it. Anyway, you always get that super fast bunker. I feel like I made my bunker a little bit late actually in this game. So maybe I'll have to pull some SCVs, I'm not sure about it. Confirm there's still no nexus. This is actually, to be honest guys, I don't recommend this move, because this move can actually make the game a bit more complicated. Like, I was pretty confident that I would find his proxy eventually. But what sucks about this is that you don't really know if he takes his natural anymore. Like, you don't know if he was already cheesing you, or if he's just responding to you making an eBay. A lot of times you're gonna miss the scout if he builds a nexus there or there. So this move, yeah, if you like it, if you're really confident to hold this one base all in no matter what, go ahead and do it. But if you struggle a bit with scouting and realizing what's going on and reacting, maybe don't eBay block, because that way you can actually keep tabs on if he's making the nexus or not and stuff. Like, it makes it a bit more overviewable. Hope that's a word. Doesn't sound like one, but I think you guys know what I mean. So here we go. That is there. I have 3 units because once again I didn't make the reactor. Don't make that freaking reactor. This is not the biggest deal because it's just 1 unit. He's even gonna lose it for the sake of doing some damage. Second that comes in. I didn't actually manage to scout the proxy, by the way, so I don't know what this is. I just know he's doing something. Here we go. First thing you do is I should have started a second gas already, by the way. I think I got caught up a little bit in defending the proxy gate, but you want that second gas already so you can actually make your tech units. Anyway, when you're not sure what it is, you always need to get the tech lab. 2 things this could be. Well, by now I know it's a proxy gate, but 2 things it could be as well is proxy stargate and proxy double robo, I guess. those two. It could also be DT, but then this eBay block would have won me the game, I guess, because they actually need to make a Nexus on time, I think. Somewhat on time. Now, against Proxy Robo, you want to get a tank and a Viking. And against Proxy Stargate, you want to get the Cyclone and the Viking first. Like, you don't really want Hellion or Mine. I think a Mine against Proxy Stargate is pretty alright if they go for the Void Ray version. Otherwise, not that fantastic. Please make that freaking gas. I'm triggering myself. Thank you. It's like I'm talking to me in the past.
Add-on complete.
As you can see, yeah, it's not too far off, but because I missed that gas, I actually can't afford the Cyclone.
Base is under attack.
Also, one thing that sounds a bit weird is if you really don't have money, you need to make stuff. It's kind of okay to delay this orbital as long as they're on one base, because yeah, their eco is garbage. It doesn't matter. If you really need a marine or anything, you can skip out on the orbital for a little bit. Not for long. I'm just talking about like 1 unit cycle maybe, right? Okay, so I still haven't scouted anything. I know. Also, if you don't realize that it's a proxy gate or is not a proxy gate, you actually need to make a bunker here. I only don't have a bunker here because I saw the amount of units that were coming, so I knew he had a second gate into tech, right? But if you actually don't have any sign that it's a proxy gate, you need to make a bunker on the high ground because you need to be able to defend this area. Like if it's proxy Void Ray, for example, he's gonna come in from here and snipe your depots. If it's a proxy Immortal drop, you need a position that you can park your tank behind, basically. Like in that case, it's all about saving the tank, pretty much. I still haven't seen anything. Where's he? Ah. Oh, it's a proxy Tempest. It's a proxy Tempest, okay. This, in my opinion, is not a good proxy to do. I think another version, maybe the proxy Robo would have been scarier. Now, I still see no Nexus, so I know something real messed up is going on. At this point, I kind of know that it's a proxy Tempest, or at least something really weird. Like, I don't know what people can do, but it's just, it arrives so late. He's either saving up something crazy, but it's probably proxy Tempest, so here I go. I'm getting the... Ah, okay. It looks like I thought it was DTs maybe, because it was hitting so late. That actually makes sense too. DTs, because he went 2 proxy gates and then DT Shrine supposedly, so that actually makes sense that I thought that, I think. Now with the batteries, it's more obvious that it's Tempest. So I really like this. I responded so fast to this. I was gonna tell you guys, this is the best response against Tempest. You get the Mac field, but I realized so fast. I didn't even really think about it. I just saw the batteries and I knew, okay, let's go for the Mac field. I remember playing against this in a tournament in the Dutch StarCraft League, just after the Mac field was changed. Like it was different before, and then it started doing insane damage against armored or something like that. And a guy did it against me, and I just completely destroyed his Tempest in like 1 second with the Mac field. Now the most important thing against the Tempest Rush is that you don't bleed units. Like, I honestly don't care at all that he's attacking my depots. You can see my response, I'm just making more depots. Like, kill my depot all you want, you just don't want to lose. Like, Marines is okay-ish, even you don't really want to lose those because they tank a bit. But definitely don't, like, lose your Cyclones or anything like that. There you can go. Just run with the Cyclone, repair it. Like, as you can see, like, people always say Tempest don't do damage, but this is, like, they actually do quite a amount of damage. If they have, like, 3, I think they, do they need 4 to one? I think they need 4 to one-shot it. Or is it, yeah, well, something like that. 3 or 4. How much damage does a Tempest do? Let's do some research on the channel. 40. But I have an armor, right? Yeah. So I need 4 Tempest to one-shot it. But like, even if they have 2 Tempest, if they shoot it twice, like their rate of fire is not that slow. It seems really slow. But yeah, if you keep it in range, it's dead. So you gotta be really careful with those. Especially since I'm getting that Mac field. Now what I like to do against this push is to get the second factory. I feel like the longer the game goes, the better it is for me. Like, I'm gonna get more and more Cyclone. At some point, Tempest are gonna die instantly under batteries even. If you get the second factory up, you kind of secure the game in a way. I feel like at that point, they can't really outproduce you with their Tempest anymore. Obviously, I scouted a super late Nexus. In this case, he still doesn't have it. So it's all about that survival in the end, you know. So when my Mac build is finished, I'm probably gonna jump on one of the Tempest.
Additional
Looks like I'm gonna scout around a bit. I always do these cheeky moves. I don't recommend this one, to be honest. I feel like this is a bit stupid maybe. Like, I would recommend to just sit back here. Mac build finishes. Obviously, if he targets it, you just repair with everything. It's okay to lose SCVs against this one base Tempest push. I like I said, probably don't do this. Like, this is just very YOLO. Just save them up here, and then when the Mac build finished, you can go in. He actually happened to have a probe there. Like, it wasn't even smart. It worked, but yeah, don't try this at home. Let's see what we're gonna do now. Oh, of course. Why am I like this? Sorry, guys. Now I have my double Cyclone production up. I guess it's buying time, to be honest. Like, right now it doesn't look that bad. Losing the bunker's okay, as long as you don't lose like the mass Cyclone force. You can see the damage these Cyclones do on armor. It's pretty nuts, actually. So now I'm already on 7 Cyclones. 7 Cyclones against 2 Tempest. That's how fast it actually goes. And look how fast the unit dies. You see the units that are locked on? Look how fast they die. There's just nothing you can do against it. Look at that Tempest. Absolutely insane counter here. Normally you just sit back, but yeah, I had so much I just went for it. Not even the batteries can really save these units, which is not something you can really say normally. Not even a battery can save this unit, but in this case, no, not even a battery, so no. To save this Tempest and Stalkers from my Macfield Cyclones. I actually got this from, I think it was Cure. I saw Cure play against, I think it was Dare or Trap. I'm not sure when it was. It was actually quite a while ago, and he was getting Proxy Tempest on Purity and Industry. And he countered it by making 2 factory mass Cyclones as well. And then I decided to try it out, and well, this Stomp is the result, I guess. Look, even this one Cyclone shooting this Tempest. It's so nuts. Beautiful. Love watching this. Feels great. Alright. Let's go on to the most evil of all cheeses. I'll surprise you guys with that in the next game. Alright guys, I'm back with game number 3, and this is the most evil of all cheeses. The bane of every StarCraft player's existence. The reason your friends quit the game. So that's why this is the ultimate necessity for the guide. We're gonna be playing against a Cannon Rush. And the thing is, my opponent is 5.2k MMR, I think. Which you would say is low, but this was actually from my mouse-only account. So, indeed, I'm gonna show you how to defeat a 5.2k Cannon Rush with just a mouse. Because the theory is so simple, I think, that, yeah, you don't need, honestly, you don't need APM to execute this. You just need to do it right. And I think it's very simple. Alright, so the only thing you need to stop this is your SCVs. Okay? That's the only thing you need. The moment you see a pylon, like the only time a Cannon Rush works is when a pylon actually goes down. So what you do is, wait, does that even reach? I guess it reaches. So what you do, a pylon goes down, a probe comes in early. You send an SCV to every spot where he could build a cannon. Now, in this case, he can't really build a cannon here because I can just lower the depot. But just to be safe, I send one anyway. You click one SCV on the probe. Like, this is all about SCV macro. Just all of it, trust me. All about SCV macro. You click one on the probe, and you just, like, I didn't have the APM to patrol because I'm playing with mouse only, so it took me a while. But you just patrol an SCV wherever he can build a cannon. Now, since it's getting a bit more serious, he finished the pylon. I put 2 SCVs on his probe. Now I'm also gonna put 2 in this probe. Like, this is what you do. And the rush, it's over. Like, he can't get a cannon anywhere. If you build a cannon like this, you just put 3 SCVs to attack it. Exactly 3. If you're paranoid or you're late, you put 4. But usually 3 is enough. 2 on each probe. 1 in the spots where you can build a cannon. And that's the entire rush. Literally. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Here you go. I was paranoid. So I even pulled some more. What's my APM defending this? It's pretty high actually for a mouse only, about 140. That was higher than I expected. I was ready to blow your guys' mind. Oh yeah, actually, normally you make Marines, but I forgot to make a barracks unit all this time. Or well, I forgot. Maybe I just wasn't fast enough with just one hand. Okay, once again, boys, I'm just gonna go back because that's all it's about. It's just SCV micro, okay? Pylon goes down. 1 SCV on the probe. 1 SCV here. 1 SCV here. And this applies to every map. Now, another kind of cannon rush they can do is the instant wall off. So for example, I imagine this is not a great spot, just saying. But you could do it here, like pylon, pylon, pylon. If they build a wall in your base, you just pull like all your SCVs to kill it, and it doesn't do anything. Your SCVs will kill it in time. That's it. It's simple. But once again, the most standard cannon rush, just like this. 1 SCV at each probe they can make a cannon. 1 on the probe. I'm just learned it. I feel like every time I play against this, it's such an easy defense. But my friends always complain about it. So I feel like I need to. It's like in school, you know, like repeat it 100 times. Write it on the blackboard. 1 SCV on each probe. 1 SCV in every place where you can build a cannon. And then the only place you can... Look at this. What is this cannon positioning? That's the only place you could have built a cannon. It's just dead. And that's it. Like this... look at this. I'm not even making a unit from the barracks because I'm not fast enough. Doesn't matter. Normally you make Marines, by the way. Just saying. Don't make a Reaper, make Marines. But I held it with just my SCVs. And then you can start a Reaper. Reapers are actually pretty OP here, because this is what a base of someone that just cannon rushes looks like. Like if I was making Marines, I would have already started my factory, and he's just like, hey, let's make a gateway. Like what is he gonna do against a Reaper? Also a follow-up. I think a follow-up against cannon rushing should always be to aggress. It's kind of like the opposite of against Proxy Reaper. I don't know if you guys saw the Proxy Reaper guy, but there I say like after you defend it, expand and chill. But a cannon rusher can't defend anything. They don't have units. The only thing he doesn't even have a gateway. Like my Reaper is almost his base and he doesn't have a gateway. The only thing he can make is a zealot. Most of the time I feel like they do it on maps where they have like a... Let's see, for example, let's say Golden Wall. You can't jump into the main. They'll make like a cannon at the front and then a nexus. Well, that dies to like any harassment. You do like a marine drop or a Hellion drop and the game ends. So that's why I always like to actually tech up second gas, you see. Now this bunker is a beam. I just wanted to kill some probes. Actually, his cannon wasn't finished yet in the middle line, so I could have killed him there as well. But yeah. So the follow-up to this is always to tech up and then expand. Like I said, this guy, his cyber core is not even finished. He needs to make cannons to defend his mineral lines from a Reaper. Think about it. Like, that's sad, no?
Additional supply depots required.
Imagine having to make a turret in your mineral line to defend the core first adept chrono. So this game I'm actually gonna go for a Hellion drop, looks like. Nice supply block as well. Don't judge me. I'm playing with just the mouse in this game. Don't you dare judge me, okay? I'm supply blocked. So yeah, more Hellions. Normally they, I would say 95% of cannon rush follow-ups are Nexus at the front with a cannon, if possible on the map, or DTs. Well, this guy actually changed the normal once again, changing the meta by going for, wait, what is this? An island of proxy buildings. Okay, proxy robo, proxy thingies. Well, doesn't matter. As you can see, he has 1 unit still at this point. I'm making a liberator. This guy has 1 unit. I have a reactor barracks. My CC is actually halfway done. Obviously, I'm looking for stuff because he. This is also the way I would recommend to scout, by the way. Scout the corners of the map because, like I said, it's most likely DTs if you don't see anything in their base. Now, he couldn't even have started at Dark Shrine yet. Like, this would be his Twilight Council. At least I imagine those buildings take about the same time. Probably not, but maybe he would have started now or something. So I prefer to scout the corners of the base. There we go. Getting his pylons. And then you just go for Marine, Tank, Liberator. Also, this is a little bit off topic, but on topic as well. If they go for DTs, normally if you suspect DTs, I would really recommend you to get the eBay instead of the Raven. I feel like switching your build up to go for a Raven is a too strong adaptation. So go for the eBay instead. Get those turrets. I think it's a lot easier, and you can actually make harassment units while getting detection. So yeah, this game, because you're just ahead, you can actually defend against everything. It's not the... I'm still scouting because I would like to know what it is, but this is like one of those situations where you can actually counter everything. Like, I made 3 Hellions and a Liberator, and I still have enough resources to counter everything. I can make a tank, a Viking, turrets, while harassing with 3 Hellions and a Liberator and having an expansion against the one base. This is how far you actually get against the cannon rush. If you micro those SCVs right. Don't mess it up. If you mess it up, I'll be disappointed. So Liberator's gonna go in. Obviously, this guy has a... You know, that's actually funny. I feel like they think, I have a cannon. It's Gucci, you know? But I would actually... If I ever siege this lip in range of the cannon, I would just... yeah, that's just... I'd be sad. That would ruin the coaching session immediately, you know? Even if I win the game. Just look at the amount of units I have. I was being so safe. I actually have a tank, but I'm like, well, what's he gonna do? How many? 11 kills on the Liberator, and this is just carnage, boy. This is what I want all your games against cannon rushers to look like. All of them. Okay. Let's carnage all the cannon rushers from now on. No more losses to cannon rushers. I want all of them to be destroyed, and I want all of them to complain about Terran. This is actually kind of a side effect of cannon rushing, is that because they need their buildings to be safe and they need their pylons to be in range of the mineral line, very often this is actually what their building positioning looks like. Now obviously this is not reliable, but in case it is Liberator, it's very funny because his stalkers are just trapped. Now it doesn't look like he's even gonna bother. Wait, how far does this observer see? Okay, I was about to say, he sees that tank. Is that why he's not going up with the prism? But no. And that's it, boys. Let me know if you still lose the cannon rush. I might put you on a list, but let me know anyway. And that's gonna be it for this video. Don't forget, this was just part 1. I'm definitely gonna do some more anti-Protoss cheeses later, anti-Terran cheeses, anti-Zerg cheeses. Let me know what you want in the comments. I'll probably do a video on all of them at some point. If there's a specific Protoss cheese that bothers you guys, like Proxy Robo or whatever, let me know and I'll try to figure it out. Don't forget to subscribe as well, turn notifications, and see you guys for the next video. Adios.